Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 8 of Support Together, Fill Your Cuppa. Episode 8, girls. 8.
Wow.
8. It's flying in.
Mm-hmm. We never thought we'd even get second episode
Of Season 1.
Season 1. Exactly.
We're now in Season 2, Episode 8.
We definitely have a lot to talk about.
We are the shit.
What are we like?
We are.
That's hit.
Like a dog with.
Cha-chong. Keep going.
Anyway, you're very welcome here today.
Yeah.
And we have an extra guest. We've no seat for her. She doesn't need a seat. On my right, we've got Una Mary.
Hi, everyone.
And on my far left, we've got wee Gem Cassie.
Hello, hello, hello.
And right beside me, and anybody who's on YouTube can see her, we've got It.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to introduce you to our character, It.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise known as the bitch.
Yeah, that's what Ciara calls her.
She's beautiful, isn't she?
All of the mummies call her that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we talk a lot about It. And she's in lots of her conversations. She's been in my house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's been in my bed. She's been in your bed.
Yeah.
Kinky. Mm-hmm. And so today we're going to introduce her.
Yeah.
And who better to introduce her than the lady who made her? Una Mary?
I didn't make her. It was me and my sister Brenda when we started off the charity. And I suppose what we see is when people think they are their illness, and we're trying to create a character that you can identify with, but it's not you. So we'd supported a mummy many, many years ago, a wonderful lady, and the support that we give her, she ended up writing in a poem. And in her poem, don't remember all of the poem, but it goes a wee bit like this. It robbed me of my happiness. It stole who I was before. It robbed me from seeing my kids grow up. Everything became a chore. And it goes on and she goes on and talks about it. And what she was talking about was postnatal depression, postnatal anxiety. And at that time we were creating the Tale of PMD.
Mm-hmm, I have it here.
The leaflet that we spent a lot of time designing and working on, because we were creating a fairy tale. People feel when they go into the hood, they're going until, everything's going to be rosy in the
aye.
Fairy tale, getting their pram, their cot, getting the nursery ready, but there's a big life. There's a life after that. So everything through that leaflet, just see it's highlighted.
Yeah, understand it's normal.
Normal. So we wanted to create a character to link with that. So we involved quite a few of the mummies. Mm-hmm. At that time, this is going back many years ago. And this is what was created through a local artist, Barry. Mm-hmm. And Barry has done many an illustration for us, even for this podcast.
Yes, it's him has done the wee sketches of us.
Sketches and stuff. So what we were trying to create is that when we're talking about the illness, that people can see something outside themselves. Mm-hmm. So when we are in training or we deliver any training, we bring it with us. Mm-hmm. We bring it nearly everywhere. Now, it's very bulky to throw in the car, but it works. Yeah. She's looking at me. She's actually looking probably at you, Gemma, and she's looking at Ciara, and no doubt she's looking at Fane here over helping us record.
She's eyeballing
So she's
me.
eyes everywhere. Mm-hmm. And that's a powerful thing that the mummies often come back to. And it is there, when we take it out in training, it's the illness that has given you the signs and symptoms of antenatal or postnatal depression and anxiety. So that can be, fire the symptoms out. So it could be that you're
feeling sad and weepy, anxiety and irritability.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Feeling tired all the time. Mm-hmm. No enjoyment in life.
Just completely flat off it.
Feeling unable to cope.
Yeah.
Not wanting to be with others.
Yeah.
Feeling unlovable and worthless. Mm-hmm. No interest in sex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that stays with you. Not being able to concentrate, make decisions, or forgetting things.
Yeah.
Having no energy or enthusiasm. The decrease or increase in appetite. Feeling numb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Detached from your baby. Or separation anxiety. That's just a few of the many
Things that it
brings.
symptoms of it. So we often then, at mums, we feel that it defines them. I am the illness. They're not the illness. They're living with signs and symptoms of antenatal and postnatal depression,
Which is a totally treatable illness.
which is a treatable illness. But I remember feeling that I was depression. I am, and I can't talk about this and I can't say this because people will judge me. I'm anxious, you know, in parenthood, and people are going to judge me. I became anxious due to my journey into motherhood, due to the expectations I had of self. So when people feel they are their illness, they feel completely consumed by it, that they've lost their voice, they've lost their identity. And often we go out with that and we do the signs and symptoms of antenatal, postnatal depression. You see people who, it is amazing to watch because they're writing constantly. Often when you go into professionals, they're not writing as quick, but the lived experience. And we get them to come up and put a post-it on. And so she's covered from head to toe. And I then will introduce myself. You know, I've introduced myself already, but we'll bring back to that and off a new one, or you go, Gemma, and you go, my name is Gemma Cassidy. I have lived with postnatal anxiety, and we often put the character in front of us.
Yep.
And then when we look at people and go, I am Gemma Cassidy, I am not postnatal anxiety, I am living with it, or I have lived with it, and you move it to your side.
Yeah.
And often that is a massive aha moment because we are not defined
By the illness.
No, we're not.
From our Tale of PMD leaflet, it's the untold story. And I'm going to read it out. It's a lovely visual story to see, but for anybody that's...
We actually have them paintings.
Yeah, the paintings are in the
They're
office.
absolutely stunning.
So once upon a time, there was a mummy just like you. She started on a journey with a baby just brand new. Happy, joyful, loving. These feelings, they came first. But the darkness came so quickly, and her life will now be cursed. It quickly took her spirit, her laughter, and her fun. Then it made her paranoid and scared of everyone. Her nerves became unsettled. She just could not sit still. She cleaned and mopped and cleaned some more till all she felt was ill. It locked her up and twisted her. It tampered with her mind. Her love for life was over. She bowed her head and cried. She loved her baby dearly, but feelings wouldn't show, afraid to speak and ask for help, 'cause everyone would know.
It's the mask.
Staring in the distance, her head was spinning fast. She knew she had to make a change. There's no way that this could last. She knew just then the time was up to break free from the chains, take a breath, a leap of faith, find her new self again. She remembered from a leaflet, you are not alone. She looked at her baby smiling, then picked up the phone. She talked and someone listened. Someone really cared. Maybe I can do this. Yes, there's no need to feel scared. Out of its darkness and into a new light. She holds her baby near. Her illness is locked up now. With support, it disappeared. She threw the key so far away and went on her new path. To free her heart and mind again. To live, to love, to laugh. So there's life after it.
There's life after it. And it's about often the lack of education, the lack of support gives it,
More power.
as you say, the bitch, the power. And we talked about, it was in my bed, there was 4 in my bed. And that was me, my baby, it, which is the illness, and my husband. And I opened up my door, my identity, my home to this predator, to this bloody illness that I was so unequipped to protect myself from, that she knew straight away, there's a doll for me, Mary Leonard is pregnant.
We'll move in there.
We're going to move in there, and I'm going to take home, and I am just going to take over her life. I am going to be the boss. She took away my identity, my front door, my back door keys. That's where we bring the keys. The keys is everything in
Part of our
here
toolkit.
strips down even more.
Yeah.
Each of that, what you read there, there's onion layers to that, you know, and sometimes you become very OCD and you're cleaning and all. There's a whole, but what the message is to get across is when we talk about it,
when we reach out,
take
back ownership.
When we start educating ourselves, we are then connected and we're then able to put the words to it and get the support through our doctor or whatever that may look like.
Get the keys back.
Yeah.
Get the keys back. And we have people, as you know, Ciara and Gemma have come into the office for other stuff, not just to come in to meet us, to do with building connections. And when we go, oh, that's it. That's the...
That's the
went
bitch.
to Queen's University. You introduced it here. I've got the bitch.
We went to Queen's and we did a talk with the social workers, and the bitch came with us.
Yeah.
We went up to Maternal Mental Health Alliance talk with a pile of our mummies on a road trip one day, and the bitch came with us. We took her into Anne Summers.
And we
put her in the window.
We did. We nearly got into trouble. When you wear that, you get
this.
That.
She can come to your house.
We're having a bit of humour.
Because she's everywhere. But she's there. She was in my house. I remember the feeling of being able to say to Una, I'm afraid in case it comes back. And Una saying, what's it? I'm like, it. Now, I was going to fight her when she came back if she had come back to my house after I had Orla.
About baby 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was ready to fight her because I knew what she was. With Jude and Nanda, I hadn't a clue.
So what did you end up doing?
Running and hiding. And it's like, she got bigger and bigger and bigger because I run from her.
But she'll always, it.
Well, she's always...
I don't mean to say she because we're kind of the female, but it will outrun you.
Oh, aye.
Not a sweat, not a nothing. It'll always be there ahead of you.
Laughing.
It'll know what to take more out of you. But when you stand and you confront it, and it is your feelings, your fear, your dread, completely and utterly shrinks.
Yeah.
And we often say to Mummy, it might still be about, but you remember you have the key.
We have the key and the power.
And you have the power. And
Shut
you have
that
built
door.
up your support, your support hand, as you talk a lot about, Gemma.
Yeah. And I suppose we go back to there's one lady that has come into the office, and she hasn't had postnatal. She has had a tragic loss in her life. And she straight away, before we even introduced who the bitch was or it was, she got it because she has an it in her life. And you learn to live with it, and she's not letting it take control anymore.
Yeah.
There's days there's days that it is bigger. There's days that it's smaller. There's days that she gets into bed and it's there, and maybe she may spend a couple of days in bed because it's a sore couple of days, but it doesn't consume her life.
No, but it's like any of us, and even when mummies, when we were doing that bit of work and we explain, they get that. I can't believe it because that's been designed by mummies. And I just can't believe how much. It's just absolutely amazing to watch sometimes. And a mummy go, I get it. And do you know, it was in my house last week. I couldn't even go out with the kids. I just felt that consumed. I felt I wasn't attractive. I couldn't, and I felt I've put on weight, and I felt this and I felt that. So I was really down. And I go, that's amazing that you're able to name that.
Because you know it's not you.
You know it's not.
You're not.
You.
You're not beating yourself up. You're not a big stick hitting yourself again. The blame is off you. The blame is on the illness. A treatable illness.
And often, what you find then is a mummy might ring in if she's meant to be coming to a get together. She's put her name down, and she might ring in that morning. Look, it's here today. It's kind of taken over me, but I'm aware of what's wrong. I'm going to look after myself today. I just feel the outside world is too much for me today.
Yeah.
and tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is an amazing...
It's okay to cocoon yourself.
It is, Gemma. Not for days and weeks and weeks and weeks, but to recognise it's it. It's not me. It's the illness. Like, why do we always say, oh, that person's depression? That person has a name. They're living
With depression.
depression. They're living with anxiety. Person's living with cancer. We never say that person's cancer.
That person didn't ask for that illness.
No.
That person,
Don't be defined by that.
That person doesn't want that illness. That illness, that person's living with that illness, and you're overcoming that illness.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on it, Gemma? Because you've come into the charity also. It was there.
Yeah,
the
she's
Tale
already
of
there.
PMD was there. Have you? What are you finding from your own personal experience, and even with mums?
This is Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, and we couldn't bring the podcast to you today without the support of Clarity Scanning and Holistic Health. Clarity Scanning and Holistic Health is a private pregnancy, ultrasound and complementary therapy facility. Their mission is to provide a more holistic approach during your pregnancy. Visit clarityoma.com.
She was very much anxiety for me.
Yeah.
Same here.
And even you mentioning the separation anxiety. I'm banging the chairs again.
All right. I'm way back.
I suppose she was right in my house at the very start, and even before antenatally, which I didn't know at the time. I was happy, as I said before, but it was more that anxiety and the fear and the unknown. She was right beside me. She was in that living room the day you came.
Yeah.
Right beside me, big shadow over me. I suppose there was a stage I couldn't be left on my own because I was that scared of being left on my own. What was I going to do? How was I going to cope? How was I going to manage
So what were you scared of?
it?
The power it had over you, the illness had over you.
Well, she had
Anxiety.
huge power over me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hide away and
Yeah.
I was so afraid.
She really is a
Fear
bitch.
for me.
Oh God.
She really is.
Now there was a time, to be quite honest, and I'm going to be really honest, when I look back, the illness, anxiety and depression often became my friend. It was my friend for a while because it was the only person I allowed into my life. It was the only person who'd really seen me in the raw, real state of awfulness, despair and darkness, that I felt that's all I had in my life. I couldn't see anything else but it. And then I allowed myself, because of that, my identity to be taken away, and I shrunk.
I would say she
Who I
scared the
was.
life out of me.
Oh!
And probably, like, I had suffered with depression before. And I was afraid of going back to that dark place that I was in.
Yeah, it was probably the same for me after the two boys, and then whenever I was pregnant with Orla, the fear of it, when you finally got rid of it, of the chance of it coming back.
And remember saying, like, that was your biggest fear. What happens if it comes back and we goes right? What does happen? You are equipped.
Yeah. And I suppose, sorry, I go back to the first time. I didn't educate myself the first time. But this time, I've educated myself very well. But I know it might come knocking. It's not going to stay.
It was there with you years ago when you suffered depression.
Yeah.
That's what, it can be depression without being postnatal. It can be cancer. It can be living with diabetes. It's stuff like that. But
education kicks her out the door.
Oh yeah.
education puts her back in her bloody box.
Yeah.
Communication makes her smaller. She's a very small little doll whenever you're fixing up to her.
She is,
And she's not going to be there forever.
No.
There's life after it.
At times it will creep in. My anxiety creeps in, but I'm straight away able to put a visual to it, you know, and see, right, this is not me. This is certain behaviour that's driving this way of my approach. But suppose I really remember that time you did, Ciara, going to baby 3, and we're working with a lot of mummies that are going on to have baby 2, baby 3, and who've lived with postnatal anxiety and postnatal depression, coming from birth trauma, coming from a lot of stuff, right? And that fear that you had was real. That really affected you.
It really affected me. And as much as we prepared for Orla coming, after Orla was born and I was, the gloves were on and I was ready to fight, the fear was there. What happens? And I was waiting for her to come.
You were.
And I couldn't enjoy my first couple of weeks. I remember Una saying, what is it? And I was like, I'm feared to let the boundaries down. I'm feared to let the shoulders down in case she's going to come.
Enjoy this pregnancy.
Because sure as hell, something's going to come along.
She will rob you of your happiness.
She did. She robbed me of the happiness.
It will take away your joy for life. Just exactly that poem. That poem. We'll put it up on the Facebook. I'll put it more. I wish I had took it with me today. Took it here. But that's what it does. It takes away.
But I think the key point is she fucking didn't with Orla.
She didn't.
I did. I love my two boys, but I see Orla and the difference of the power and the education and the support that I had with Orla.
Mm-hmm. You're not afraid of her anymore?
I'm not afraid of her. She needs to be afraid of me.
Uh-huh.
And she's afraid of my husband.
Yeah.
And she is afraid of me because for the rest of my days, girls, I will be fighting for other mummies that she doesn't have the control that she did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's powerful stuff.
Yeah.
That's bringing power and, back to self. That's back to the simple touch points that we always talk about, our support and education.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're built upon. And it didn't, Ciara, it took away you had that fear, but you were ready. Your husband was equipped. You were ready. You had your helping hand around you. Mm-hmm. You even came and approached the charity at that time. We were supporting you about that emotion, about that antenatal care, and that's where Bumps Together came from. Yeah.
The what ifs.
The what ifs.
That's another podcast, girls. The amount of what ifs I have.
Definitely.
I have a book at home and it's full of what ifs. And it's from the Bumps Together.
And it's the fear.
And it's writing them out, yeah.
Yeah. And so you were equipping yourself in the emotional transition, and that's what we were talking about the other day in the office. Mm-hmm. We have so many mummies who go on to have second or third baby and have suffered awful emotional distress, depression. Do you know all of that stuff? And it could have really, it robbed me from having my third child. Mm-hmm. And I talk about this openly. Mm-hmm. But what I took the power back is me and my husband were fit to sit down and talk about that. Yeah. And we were able to go, look at that and say, no, we're quite happy now to have my girl and my boy. Mm-hmm. Quite lucky. My gratitude came in at that stage. It didn't rob me. Mm-hmm. But do you know what I mean? At that time, I felt it was robbing me and I was getting bitter and angry. Mm-hmm. But me and him then started communicating and connecting and realising, okay, no, we're not going to go on to have the third. I think I was afraid of what that might look like. And
that could be very different for other mummies. Do you want to go on?
But
then there was no support together. Then there was no education.
Ciara, and that is the exact. There was
she's not getting to rob anybody now because we are making her a very
choice.
Yes,
a choice. We're working with a family at the moment, and they're going on to have another baby after living with it, and his fear is very much there. What am I going? What happens if this illness comes in? What happens if it takes away? Mm-hmm. What happens? What if? And we're connecting in with him. And she's built up a plan of action, her helping hand, before she goes into crisis. Mm-hmm. If she's in crisis.
The resilience, the education.
And we're saying to him, that, we're connecting in with him and letting him be, and, letting him know you're involved in this. Mm-hmm. If it comes, by God.
Yeah, and it might. It'll not be as big. She'll be further back in the living room.
She will be. Exactly.
She'll not stay long.
She'll not stay long because it knows rightly that the people around her, are equipped. Mm-hmm. I said to that dad the other night, I said, we're a bit like Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
We're ready with the
hoses are out.
You have your tribe behind you, your village behind you. It might peep in. But it'll know rightly. It's not welcome. So it's a bit like an unwelcome visitor. It's about your boundaries. Mm-hmm.
And
If
knowledge.
somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody come to your house and you're just not kind of fussed on them. But if you make them feel
You
very
hiding under
welcome-
the sofa.
No, if you make them feel welcome and give them the best cup of tea,
Aye, they'll sit
and
longer.
the homemade bread, they'll stay. They even might come back the next day because they enjoyed the crack. But you actually feel that they're very toxin. You're not very comfortable with them, and they're just not kind of people you want about.
You'll not make them tea.
You'll not make them tea. You'll create your boundaries.
Do you know what?
Will they come knock on your door?
No.
No. They'll thick and go somewhere else because you have your boundaries.
My husband does that with ironing.
Does it?
Yeah. If I ask him to iron, right, he does it really badly so that he's not asked to do it again.
There's a word for that.
No. What did you say there,
Baby.
That's ball bag behaviour there.
Yeah. So there's where that comes in from the creative approach. We are a very creative, colourful organisation. We're so proud. I'm so proud of that. And I remember us being you weren't with me at that gathering where it was way, way up in Fermanagh many years ago. And a woman, a health visitor had said to a mummy, the mum lived across the border, so she wouldn't have had support together, but happened to have the leaflet. Mm-hmm. And the health visitor says, just go in and have a look at that leaflet. And that mum got that leaflet. That mum says she had no support, but that leaflet, she says, I didn't destroy the leaflet, didn't put it in the bin, I put it in the drawer. Mm-hmm. And I remember it was in the drawer. And then I'd go and read it. And then I'd put it back in the drawer. She says, I kept going back to it. Mm-hmm. And she says, so what I'm trying to say, the onion layers in that leaflet is unbelievable. We even do a standalone workshop on that as a fantastic toolkit because it's designed by lived experience.
Lived and learned.
And the model of lived experience. And she came in, didn't know we were the charity
that had the leaflet, yeah.
And she came in and we're having a gathering, having a cup of tea and a chat and a bit of a banter. And we had the leaflets. And she says, you see that leaflet? That leaflet is amazing. She says, that leaflet made me understand the illness and made my husband understand it. You know, me and my daughter used to say, Mummy, read about that bad.
Like the Wicked Witch.
Exactly, the Wicked Witch. And she says, so it became a part of my family. And I thought the girls were planting this thing. Because she was so excited about it. And I goes, you're taking the mick out of me. Is there a camera about or something going on?
Jeremy Beagle's going to jump out.
She says, no, seriously. She says, see that leaflet? Honestly, I had nothing. And I had that leaflet. And that leaflet got the message across to me. And I says, I remember looking, I go, are you serious? She says, oh my word, honest to God. And I goes, are you aware we're support together? That's who did the... Are you? Is that who you are? She was told. She was advised to come to a wee support group. And I says, is that Jews? Is that Jews? And I says, it is. That's us. I says, do you know what? I've got it in the car. She said, oh, go, please take it in like a photograph. My husband will not believe it. Do you know? And that was a moment that I'll never, ever forget. That was enough for me there. That was amazing.
Well, is it safe to say then I don't have to go around the room and ask how you're filling your cuppa because we are filling our cuppa day in and day out, girls.
Yeah.
By stamping out it.
Absolutely.
I think you're right there. Yeah. And we're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And support and education is vital, ladies.
And she will come up again in more podcasts.
Because, yeah.
Because we have visions of bringing mummies in and them telling us their version of it and how she was in their home and how they overcome it.
Yeah.
And dads. We do have a few dads lined up as well.
Very, very powerful. It's looking at me now.
I wonder if she like our jokes.
Oh, I'd say that maybe a little further away.
I don't think she will. I don't think she likes the jokes.
We're going for jokes.
We're going for a few jokes.
Okay.
Right.
Keep our letters, Gemma.
Why do cows wear bells?
Don't know.
Because the horns don't work. Right.
That's a pig.
What did she say? It's a pig.
I got the wrong.
Why couldn't the bad sailor learn the alphabet?
Don't know.
Because they always get lost at sea.
Oh, I was just going to say something. Oh.
Wait.
Jeez, I get excited here at these jokes now.
I know.
Boys a dear.
Deadly.
What happens to an illegal... Sorry, I'm going through my phone here to get jokes because my books are done. What happens to an illegally parked frog?
Jumps away.
It gets towed away. Why couldn't the pony sing a lullaby?
Why could the pony?
Why couldn't the pony sing a lullaby?
What's horsing about?
She was a little horse.
Very
Like
good.
you were on Monday from singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gemma was from shouting. And
What was I? Why was I shouting?
at the Devonish. What did the nose say to the finger? Stop picking on me. Ugh.
Here, folks, I really do think we need more jokes. Please send them in.
Anybody has
Email,
a good book, joke
Facebook.
book, send her in to Ciara.
Yeah.
A lorry load, please.
Yeah.
Why do bees have sticky hair? Because they use honeycomb. I think. Will we leave it at that?
Aye.
Anyway,
Why did the belt go to jail?
don't know,
Strapped
Ciara.
up.
Because it held up a pair of pants.
I don't even get it.
It held up a pair of pants. It held up a pair of pants.
What's got to do with?
A belt.
Probably that's American as a pants, maybe
Pants.
trousers.
Gemma. Pants. Trousers.
Nah, you should have said trousers.
It held up a pair of
She would
trousers.
have got it better if it was a trouser.
I don't even know if she. I don't even know if she'd get
the
that.
last one, Ciara. Move on, please. Move on. Move on.
The boss told me to have a good day,
Did I?
so I went home. We'll leave her on that. We'll leave it on that. Goodbye. Good luck.
Bye.
Watch us on YouTube.
Adios.
Click and like and subscribe
Download,
and leave us a
upload,
review
whatever.
and share the bejesus out of this.
Yeah.
We
Done.
need to get more subscribers. We need
Get the message out.
Yeah, get us out
We
there
need to give the power back.
to us and take it away from that
That's
bitch.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
This was Fill Your Cuppa, the Support Together podcast with me, Mrs. O, Ciara O'Gowan, my co-hosts Una Leonard and Gemma Casty. Brought to you today by Clarity Scanning and Holistic Health and produced by 9874 Creative.